Hello, Daryl here. The channel is Programming in Any Language. The supporting website is programminganylanguage.com or black-duck.com. They both take you to the same place. And it's a place where you'll find the videos and PDFs of the code. The video is creating and using a class. In this video, we'll create a class that has three properties. We then create a form that uses a class by allowing the user to enter data into an object using the set accessors of the class. Then, using the get accessors of each property, the entered data is displayed. This program shows us how to set up the program and the class. It is not very functional because we only capture information about one product. And in future videos, we'll expand on this by incorporating an array, which will allow us to capture data in an infinite number of products. Here's the nuts and bolts of the program. I originally titled this video Espresso Class, and you'll see for obvious reasons if we get going on here, but this is actually creating and using a class. We've spent some time so far creating classes and also adding properties to these things. It's time to really see these things in action, how you might use them in a real program. This won't be a full program, but it'll be getting you started on how you might use these things with multiple properties. So we're looking at creating and using a class today. And we do call this the Espresso class right here. I've got a little mock-up here of a program that shows entering an espresso machine data. You got a brand here, the model, and the price. And what's going to happen is this gets sucked into an instance of a class, and we're able to get at those properties, and which would be the brand, the model, and the price coming out and form out those things the way we want. So every time we type something in here, we create the object and it goes into place. So that's all it's going to do. It's not a very functional program from that standpoint. We'll do something later where we can actually put it into a program where we can save a bunch of these things and bring out a bunch of records. But right now, let's take a look at just how we would go about building a class, an instance of a class called the espresso machine, basically. What we're going to do is we're going to set up our internal class Espresso right here. And here you can see we've got a constructor. And notice we have three field values in here. We've got a brand, a model, and a price are going into this thing. So we're actually going to have backing fields for the brand, model, and price. And we're setting the initial brand and the model to nulls. And we're setting a price equal to 0. So we've got some data in there. And you notice we have get and sets for all three of these things. And we're doing the shorthand version of this thing. So basically, as you type something into these particular areas right here, the set is going to be executed when we hit the Create Object button here and apply those to what the brand, model, and price are inside the class. So it'll be held there. That's basically what's going on with this thing. Then, when we go down here and see what results in this thing, the program is also going to use the get to get what's in the class, the protected data that's in the class, and display them in labels and format that data as well into the form itself so we can actually see that data. If you look at the button Create Object right here, we've got the Espresso, my Espresso equals new Espresso. We're taking the Espresso class here and creating an instance of that object called my Espresso in our button Create Object event. The get Espresso data is going to get my Espresso data. This is going to get all that data. So we're actually having a method we're going to go reach out to and grab this stuff. Once we've got that method done, which means it accomplished getting all this stuff in here, we're then going to use the myEspresso.brand, myEspresso.model, myEspresso.price gets inside the class itself to bring them to our label and display them on the screen right here. If we look at that get Espresso data, we got my Espresso coming down here. That's Espresso machine. So we're calling it machine here. And we're using the get express data, and we're setting our decimal price as a decimal. Machine brand is going to be a text brand. Machine model is text model.text. So we're grabbing the data. We're grabbing these two pieces of data from this area right in here. The price itself is being set to a decimal, and then we're using an if statement to parse it to make sure we actually have numeric data coming in here. So we've got a decimal price.text, and we're going to out the decimal price if it indeed is a decimal number or can be converted to a decimal number as we're coming in here. If it is, machine price equals DEC price. We're going to get that valid price, and then otherwise we're going to show invalid price and display an error in this thing. So that's what we're doing right here. Notice here that the myEspresso is being passed as a parameter to this method. So Espresso machine is coming down in here. Our KitchenAid data, KF6, 1099 are getting into these particular text boxes. You can see them come through. you can see that once they have come through, we're going and grabbing that data from the class, from the instance of the class, and putting them out in the label here and making that all happen. The end result is we end up with a proper program that looks like this. Let's take a look at the real program and see what we're actually looking at here. This is our Espresso Machine program, and it has nothing in it right now. We've got to simply, if we go out to the form design here, it's looking like this. If we go out to the code, you can see we've got nothing in this thing at all whatsoever. We also don't have our class sitting up here, so we're going to want to create that as we go forward. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we want to create that Espresso class piece. So we're going to go in here and we're going to go into the Espresso Machine right here and go ahead and add a class. And we're going to call it Espresso. That creates our initial class as we're looking at it from where we stand here. We now are going to create the public Espresso, and I want to put a comment back, constructor. Then inside here, right in here, we're going to set up our brand, one of our properties. It'll be nulls, model, and the price. And 0 is fine on that thing. And that completes the 3 pieces of the 3 properties we want to be able to save in here. Now, we need gets and sets for these things. We want to be able to extract that and also put data into these areas. So we need those doorways to be putting in here. So we're going to use public string brand get set. This will be the brand property. We're going to set a public string model get set. Model property. And a public decimal price getting set. And that should do. We have an error here. It's because we don't have... We're missing, under the internal was missing a guy right here. When I was messing with those braces, we had an error. That's why I like to basically have them line up one under the other to make this thing work so I can see when I'm missing something, I know what it is right away. So our class is set now. We've got that thing in place. So we're good to go there. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our form itself. We'll jump into here, and I want to do the exit button first just to get that out of the way. It's always something simple. And that will be simply closing the form and making that all happen. But I want to go up to the top, and right underneath initialize component, I want to put a comment in here. The get espresso data method accepts an Espresso object as an argument. That'll be the machine we saw before, and we'll see that again. And I'm going to say it assigns the data entered by the user to the object's properties. And we'll set that up now. We're going to say private void get Espresso data. And we're going to use Espresso. It's our class. But we're going to call it machine in this case. We can call it anything we want. And give it our braces. And we're going to say DECIMAL decimal DEC price. We're going to bring in that price data. Temp variable to hold price. Machine dot brand. Remember, we've got a new instance here with inside the that we've been passed to this particular method. So we've got all 3 properties available to us here. It's going to be equal to txt brand dot text. And we have that text box that's sitting out on that form. Label this. Get Espresso machine brand. And machine model equals text model get Espresso machine model. Then we need our if statement. If DECIMAL decimal dot try parse txt price dot text comma out DEC price. Why do I have errors here? Oh, they're backwards. There we go. That's much better. Okay, if that's equal to that, and we're going to go out with it, we've got our 2 brackets there. We're going to need our braces. Put the braces in for that if statement. And our machine price is going to be equal to decimal price. Get valid price. Else, message box dot show invalid price, else display the error. And we're good here. So that's looking good. So we've got the method that we want to use to get the Expresso data. We're not using that particular method now. That's where the create object button is going to take place here. So we're going to need to do that. So all we're going to do here was the create object thing is go in there and do something when that button clicks. Whenever we click the button, we want to say Expresso, my Expresso equals new Expresso. So we're create an Expresso object out of our class. Then we're going to go ahead and get that. Get Expresso data, passing it my Expresso. So we're going to pass that class to the method up here. That's where it's coming in. It's going to be coming, it's going to grab it as machine, Expresso machine. So it's got the same class type here. So an instance up here. So that's going to be taking that. We'll say call get Expresso data. And then we're going to display that data. LBL brand dot text is equal my Expresso dot brand. LBL model equals my Expresso dot model. LBL price dot text is equal to my Expresso dot price to string, because remember it's a decimal to string, and we're going to put in we're going to convert it to dollars and cents right away. So we've got that in place. And that's it. That puts our little Expresso machine program in place. I'm about to do a file save on this thing. Now let's go ahead and start this program. Comes up nicely. We can type in a brand. Let's try KitchenAid. The model will be the KF6. And we'll say it sells for $1,099. As soon as we hit the create object, all that stuff takes place. It puts KitchenAid down there, puts the model in there for KF6, and it formats dollars and cents. So we're not really using it in a program sense at all, but we are finding out how we would actually capture data like this and put it into a class. In the applications, you'll be able to see this program work with many, many versions of Expresso data. And then we'll be able to actually use it to do searches on that data. So this just is the nuts and bolts of how you would get the piece in. So that's really what it is. So this is basically creating and using a class in a nutshell. And we'll go further with this later. It's nice to see multiple properties in our class. That helps us to see more possibilities for using classes. In time, this will become second nature to you. But for now, we are just getting experience using the class concept. Thanks for watching. Visit the website when you get a chance. And please subscribe to the channel. There's more stuff coming every week. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.